Right now, a government shutdown draws closer as Congress remains deadlocked over federal spending. How the shutdown could impact you.
And temperatures are in the 70s and 80s right now, but as we kick off October, we might start the month off in the low 90s. Details in the full forecast.
And the World Dairy Expo is officially underway. We are live at the Alliant Energy Center with what's new at this year's event. And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. The federal government will shut down at midnight Eastern if Republicans and Democrats in Congress don't reach a deal to extend government funding.
And it's an outcome that experts tell our Arman Rahman is growing more likely at this hour. And he joins us now to break down what could be impacted if this shutdown goes through. Arman?
Eric, Sarah, experts tell me the threat of a shutdown is becoming all too common when we reach the new fiscal year on October 1st every year. Democrats are refusing to help Republicans extend government funding without addressing health care insurance subsidies that are set to expire at the end of the year. Now, what does that mean for you?
Looks like it will have a much greater effect than even past shutdowns have had.
Constitutional law expert Howard Schwaber says this is because of the Trump administration's recent layoffs and staffing cuts across departments leading to the shutdown.
It's very difficult. If you are a person who depends on the federal government's operations, for veterans benefits or Social Security benefits, for so many different ways, a federal employee, of course.
According to the Office of Veterans Affairs, in a shutdown, they won't be able to provide veteran career counseling, the GI Bill hotline will be closed, and other services for cemeteries and burial sites will stop. Schwaber says Social Security offices will also see cuts and even closures.
So even when the shutdown ends, people may be returning to a much smaller, much less effective, much less responsive federal government than the one that existed even just yesterday.
According to Wisconsin's Office of the Commissioner of Insurance, the National Flood Insurance Program will not issue new policies or renew current policies during a government shutdown if the program is not reauthorized. And looking to the skies, travel experts say training programs for new FAA personnel would be on hold, which, if the shutdown lasts long enough, could indirectly impact operations if new hires can't be trained and put into the workforce. Otherwise, travel impacts will mostly show up on the destination side.
So national parks will likely be closed. Most of the national monuments in D.C. will be closed.
On the roads, Nick Jarmus with AAA says you won't see the shutdown change gas prices or infrastructure projects either.
Even though a lot of that is funded with, at least partially, with federal dollars, those dollars are basically have already been allocated.
Schwaber says if nothing else, this is exacerbating uncertainty and confusion, a hallmark of this administration and this tactic.
So partly this is just even further the normalization of crisis.
Now, the president has said that a shutdown is, quote, probably likely, and the administration would make, quote, irreversible cuts to programs important to Democrats during the funding lapse.
Arman, thank you. Meanwhile, Republicans have proposed a short-term bill to keep the government open through mid-November. That measure passed the House earlier this month, but Democrats say any deal must address health care, including an extension of subsidies under the Affordable Care Act to prevent a premium hike at the end of the year. Republicans say doing that will take weeks and cannot be addressed in time for the continuing resolution. But Democratic Wisconsin U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin responded to that claim earlier today.
That's simply not true. We have legislation available right now that would extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. And I know that several of my Republican colleagues want to get this done.
Wisconsin Republican Congressman Glenn Grothman released a statement calling on Democrats to agree to the deal, despite the fact it does not include those Affordable Care Act expansion credits. It reads in part, quote, "It's up to Democrat leaders to prioritize the American people over political games and prevent a shutdown. If a shutdown does occur, we should use the opportunity to review government positions and identify unnecessary roles." We got a first check of your first one forecast now. Here is meteorologist Blaze Keller. Still warm out there, Blaze.
It is still warm out there as we begin to wrap up our Tuesday and head into the middle of the work week. We are also wrapping up the month of September on the warm side, 76 degrees as we take a live look there at Lake Mendota outside of the Union Terrace. Those dew points, though, still on the lower side. Humidity at about 56%, so it is a still comfortable afternoon outside. Notice that those clouds are starting to build on in in. We're going to watch as we become more cloudy as we head overnight. That will keep us on the warmer side overnight as well, acting like a little blanket to trap in the heat that we picked up today. Still near 80 in the Dells, as well as in Lone Rock, 81 in Platteville, 80 in Monroe, 79 in Janesville, and we're near 80 in Sauk City at 78, Cross Plains, Mount Horeb, as well as into Perry, all at 78 degrees. So we're sitting right around 76, 77 degrees in Dane County. We are looking at a cloudier Wednesday with some peaks of sunshine. Gonna top out kind of where we're at right now in those mid to upper 70s to low 80s, but 90s are possible as we look towards the end of the work week. We're gonna track that out and see if there's any rain in the forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, thanks. And now to an update on a shooting from earlier this month. Madison police say they've arrested a teenage suspect in the case. Law enforcement were able to find the 16-year-old after serving search warrants on Bunting Lane and Elliott Lane. The incident happened back on September 12th when a 19-year-old came to a UW health clinic with a gunshot wound. According to police, the victim and suspects arranged a meeting near East Main Street. During the meeting, a fight broke out and the 19-year-old was shot. The 16-year-old has been arrested now for first-degree reckless injury and armed robbery.
2 schools in McFarland were placed on a secure hold today after a report of a domestic disturbance this morning. Officers first responded to a residence on Spartan Drive near Farwell Street. However, police found the suspect's vehicle near Indian Mound Middle School and McFarland High School. The school officials then put both schools in a secure hold where no one is allowed to leave or enter, but the school activities continue inside. There were no direct threats made by the suspect toward the schools, students, or any school staff. The suspect was later found and taken into custody in the Babcock County Park area.
And now to an update on the story of a Madison area priest charged with child sex crimes. Today, Andrew Showers pleaded not guilty in Wapaka County Court. A judge set his bond at $10,000. Showers is charged with 1 count of attempting to use a computer to facilitate a child sex crime, 1 count of attempted child enticement, and 1 count of attempted second-degree sexual assault of a child. Showers is currently restricted from all public ministry and also barred from contact with minors. A parent reported Showers over concerns about questions the priest asked their child during confession. Police ultimately arrested Showers after he tried to meet what he thought was a 14-year-old girl in Clintonville for sex, but it was an officer. His next court date is scheduled for December 3rd.
Madison police are asking for your help in finding a missing man. Take a look at your screen right here. This is 38-year-old Roy Fleming. He was last seen back on August 29th, a little more than a month ago, wearing red and black pants, black shoes, and a black baseball hat. If you have any information about where Roy might be, you're asked to call the Madison Police Department. The number there on your screen, area code 608-255-2345.
State regulators are suspending the license of the top veterinarian at embattled beagle breeder Ridgeland Farms. Wisconsin's Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protections says that Richard Van Dummelen delegated procedures like cherry eye removal surgeries to staff without proper licenses. The breeder, located in Blue Mounds, has faced scrutiny in recent years following accusations of animal cruelty. There have been 311 violations against Ridgeland Farms, and last week a case was referred to the Dane County District Attorney. Now, this update comes despite the farm's denial of accusations. In a statement Monday, Ridgeland said a USDA inspection found it is in full compliance with animal welfare regulations. A statement from Van Dummelen said, quote, "All of the animal care staff at Ridgeland Farms are highly dedicated individuals who care deeply about animals and regularly witness how our work directly translates into improved health for our family pets."
Still ahead at 6, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is postponing abortion services starting tomorrow, where you'll be able to go to still get care.
Plus, it is one of the leading causes of cancer deaths in women. We take a look at the latest recommendations on breast cancer after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Today is the last day Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is offering abortion services. Last week, the organization said the president's cuts to Medicaid in his recent budget gutted its funding. While it's just a pause and not a complete end of services, It remains unclear when abortion care will become available again. With this change, Wisconsin will only have 2 clinics offering abortion services, both in Milwaukee, and have to follow rules that public health officials say will lead to a backlog. And during this time, anyone who finds themselves in need of abortion care, unsure of what to do, they can contact Public Health Madison-Dane County's Nurse Navigators program. You can call or text the number on your screen between 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. on weekdays. Counseling is free and confidential.
Well, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is October, and believe it or not, that starts tomorrow. Breast cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in women. About 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with the disease in their lifetime, and there is a continued rise of women under the age of 50 being diagnosed. Dr. John LaPook says artificial intelligence is now helping to identify cases.
You have a mammogram done, and the AI actually, even before the radiologist sees it, can put a little box around areas that are potentially dangerous. And the reason why that's important is that normal breast tissue looks white. A calcification, which can be indicative of, not always, but indicative of breast cancer, is also white. So it's like looking for a snowball on a snowdrift. And sometimes human eyes are not as good as the AI at finding it.
The American Cancer Society recommends women start talking to their doctor about screening at age 40. Health professionals also recommend women use a breast cancer assessment tool to gauge their risk. That can include family history, the results of a prior biopsy, and also the age when a woman has her first child. Well, still ahead, the end of an era for internet service connectivity.
Plus, the World Dairy Expo underway right here in Madison. We'll head down to Alliant Energy Center to see what's planned for this year's event.
And could we see record high temperatures later this week? Blaze returns with a complete forecast when we're back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Moving forward.
Welcome back. We are nearing the end of our Coats for Kids campaign, and so far we have collected 2,000. Waiting for the numbers there, make sure I'm right, make sure I match. 2,427 coats. Now, if you want to chip in, here's how you can help. We're still looking for all kinds of winter coats, jackets, and accessories, especially toddler, infant, and larger teen sizes. You can make donations at any Madison area Clinky Cleaners location through October 4th. And if you're looking for other ways to help out, just head to channel3000.com/coats4kids. And that's where you can learn how to donate. Dairy farmers from all around the world are converging in Madison. It is World Dairy Expo time this week.
It's a big one. The expo is celebrating its 58th year with hundreds of exhibits and plenty of cows. Let's go now to the Alliant Energy Center where Jalen Banks is standing by. Hey, Jalen.
Sarah and Eric, past, present, and future. Those are the 3 words that I've heard consistently throughout the day, and just how the Dairy Expo is a celebration of that. Being here at the Alliant Energy Center for the World Dairy Expo, I'm surrounded by the best technology and dairy cows that the dairy industry has to offer. Just over my shoulder is just but a handful of the thousands of cows that'll be here throughout the week for the expo itself. Another cool thing about the expo is that it brings people from around the world right here to Madison so that individuals can learn new tricks, tips, just so that they can grow their industries back in their home countries. Now, there's a pretty special day here going on today. It is actually Youth Day here at the World Dairy Expo. Throughout the day, many students from across Future Farmers of America were here at the expo learning about the industry that will one day be theirs. Now, I caught up with a representative from the Department of Agriculture just on how important this event is for the students of FFA.
Those young people are they're a future generation of agriculture in Wisconsin, and agriculture is part of our state's past, present, and future. It's a $116.3 billion industry, billion with a B, and those are the folks that are going to be steering the ship in the future.
Now, the event is going on pretty much for the rest of the week. It goes through Friday, October 3rd. So if you at home or you have some loved ones in town that want to check it out, you have until Friday to do so, to come check out all the offerings that they have here at the World Dairy Expo. But I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio. For now, reporting live from the Alliant Energy Center at the World Dairy Expo, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right, thank you, Jalen. And right out there, temperatures staying summer-like, even close to record-breaking soon. Here's Blaze with our complete forecast.
That's right. We might slip into those upper 80s to low 90s by Friday. If Madison gets above 85 degrees, it will be a new record high temperature for Friday's date. We could easily slip into those upper 80s, maybe squeeze out a few low 90s before we maybe settle more into fall. Until then, we're going to continue to remain on the quiet side, cloudy tonight and for Wednesday. That'll keep temperatures a little bit on the cooler side midweek, but then we're getting back into those low 80s by Thursday. And then, as I just mentioned, those upper 80s to low 90s by Friday. The reason is a couple, but we'll focus on this high pressure system as it's closer to us. That high pressure system is moving off towards the south and east. Southerly winds on the backside of that, so further to the west, are going to turn out of the south as we go into Thursday. So that's going to push a lot of that cloud cover out of here. We have southerly winds, lack of cloud cover for Friday. That has all the makings, and we're dry as well, to really get those temperatures into those mid to upper 80s, if not the low 90s. And again, Madison, if we get above 85 degrees, we will set a new record high temperature for Friday's date. Tomorrow, with the cloud cover and a few peaks of sunshine, we're going to hang out where temperatures are pretty much at right now, in those low to mid 70s, if not a few low 80s as well. We'll watch as those clouds clear on out as we go throughout the late day. So late day clearing, and there's a look at those forecast highs compared to normal on Friday, anywhere from 20 to about 25 degrees. Above normal is going to be a warm Friday night football across central and southern Wisconsin. But then we're back into those mid 80s on Saturday. Sunday still in the 80s. There's the cool down, the fall-like temperatures. They arrive as we go into next week, because that's when we could finally start to see some rain. So the high pressure system is keeping us quiet, but it's all being backed up because of Hurricane Umberto as well as Imelda as they continue to push off towards the east, further into the Atlantic. Not expected to make landfall, which is some good news. What was once a Category 5 Hurricane Umberto is now a Category 1, and he will get absorbed into Imelda as she becomes a Category 2 here over the next couple of days. Here's a look at their paths. They're expected to push off towards the northeast. Think of this as kind of like a traffic jam. A car brakes, you brake, the car behind you brakes. We kind of just slow on down, but then we start to slowly move as we get through the little congestion on the interstate or highway. The jet stream is congested because of these two. That high pressure system can't move. We don't get any rainfall. We sit underneath these quiet conditions. So we can kind of thank those two hurricanes for these quiet conditions back at home. There are those rain chances as we go into the end of the weekend and into the start of next week. So a beautiful Friday night football in the forecast, as well as when the Badgers play there on Saturday. Rain really holding off until Monday of next week. And then maybe as we go into the second half of the first few days of October.
We'll finally get our fall.
We'll finally get our fall, yes.
All right, Blaze, thank you. AOL, once the biggest name in internet service connectivity, is ditching dial-up as of today.
Well, for many of you, this may come as a surprise to learn that AOL has still been offering dial-up. You may remember in the 1990s, I knew you'd do that. The familiar, unmistakable sound of that dial-up connection, gives me the chills, was the signature tone of getting online. But as of 2023, only about 1% of U.S. households with internet subscriptions were using dial-up only, and man.
That's how Sarah used to talk to her boyfriend in high school through AOL.
I remember
Messenger.
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Bancher's over here like, what are you talking about?
What's that noise?
I'm too young. What is that noise?
Well, still to come in sports, the Badger women's hockey team has a big week dialed up for themselves. It's a banner week, you could say, and we'll tell you why next on News 3 Now. No one, and I mean no one, myself included, believed that the Brewers would do what they did this year. And even less people thought they'd end the year with the best record in baseball. Sal Frelick says the crew, they don't pay attention to that outside noise, saying especially after the start that this group got off to, he's just proud of his guys and ready to prove more in the postseason.
It doesn't really change anything in here. It's kind of how it's been, and we know the team we have, and we're super confident in that team. And it's just a matter of fact of going out and showing that this year, which I'm super proud that we did. And I mean, we want to win the World Series.
People have doubted us for years now, and we continue to prove them wrong. And so it's like you got to just play your game, and that's how we prove guys wrong, is playing our game, playing to win every pitch.
By the way, with their win over the Padres, the Cubs are now just one win away from setting an NLDS date with the Brewers. It is a banner week for Wisconsin women's hockey. After blowing out Bemidji State to open their season, the Badgers return to Madison for their home opener on Friday, where they will unveil their national championship banner. Kirsten Sims, who scored the game winner to secure Bucky's 8th national title last year, says it'll be business as usual.
It's exciting, and we're going to take in the moment when it happens, but we have to remember that right as that puck drops on Friday, that we're there for hockey and to play our game and to play Badger hockey, and now we're into 2025-26 season, so kind of focusing on that and what our identity is as a team now this year. But obviously it is exciting to get to take in that moment initially of the banner raising and all that and having our fans there and whatnot, but right as the puck drops, like I said, it's time to play hockey, and that's our main focus.
Media day for the Bucks was missing one major face, Giannis. But don't worry too much. He's not going anywhere. Milwaukee's superstar reported virtually because he has COVID. He says as a leader, he's disappointed to not be there with his team, but adds sometimes life happens. As far as the season goes, he'll be ready.
Bummed out that I'm not able to be there with the team and just get this ball rolling and. As Giannis, just as my confidence is in all-time high right now. I feel really good about myself. I feel really good about the team.
And make sure to tune in this Friday at 6:30 here on News 3 Now for a Wisconsin huddle you don't want to miss. Jada Chernelia was amazing.
I look forward to that. Thanks for joining us. Entertainment Tonight is next.
We'll see you back here at 10.